Lee was 17 when he learned that being alone doesn't always mean you're actually alone. It was a Friday night in October. His parents had left for his aunt's wedding 3 states away. They'd asked him to come. He said no. Senior year. Too much homework. The truth? He just wanted the house to himself for once. By 9 p.m., he was living his best life. Pizza boxes on the coffee table, feet up, horror movie marathon queued up. The kind of freedom you only get when your parents' car is 8 hours away. That's when he heard it. A door closing upstairs. Lee paused the movie, listened. Nothing. Old house, he muttered, just settling. But his heart was already beating faster, because he knew that sound. That was the guest bedroom door, the one that stuck, the one you had to really pull to get it to close. He grabbed his phone, pulled up the group chat. Lee, you guys want to come over? Scott, can't bro, grounded. Sherry, family dinner. Why, you scared? He locked his phone, shook his head. He was being ridiculous. Then he heard footsteps, slow, deliberate, walking across the upstairs hallway. Lee's mouth went dry. Every rational thought told him to call 911, but another part of him, the part that didn't want to look stupid, the part that remembered Scott's story about calling the cops on a raccoon in his attic, that part made him stand up, made him walk to the stairs, made him call out, "Hello?" The footsteps stopped. Lee's hand found the banister. "If someone's up there, I'm calling the police right now." Silence. Then, from the darkness at the top of the stairs, a voice. "Lee?" It sounded like his mom. Lee's blood turned to ice. "Mom?" His voice cracked. "Honey, can you come up here? I need your help with something." But his mom was 8 hours away. He'd watched them leave, watched his dad load the suitcases, watched their car disappear down the street. "Mom, is that you?" He started climbing the stairs. 1 step, 2 steps. "Yes, sweetie, I'm in the guest room. The light won't turn on." 3 steps, 4 steps. Something was wrong. Her voice was right, every inflection, every tone, but also flat, like someone reading lines perfectly but without feeling. "Mom, you're supposed to be at Aunt Karen's wedding." A pause. Too long. "We came back early. Your father forgot his medication. Can you please just come help me?" Lee stopped on the 7th step. His hand tightened on the banister. His dad didn't take medication. "Who are you?" Lee's voice was barely a whisper. The silence that followed felt like hours. Then that voice again, still his mother's, but different now, colder. "Lee, come here." He turned, ran back down the stairs. The front door was closest, but something told him to try the back. Through the kitchen, through the laundry room. He burst through the back door and into his living room. Lee froze, stared. He'd just run through the house, through the kitchen, through the laundry room, through the back door. He should be in the backyard, but he was standing in his living room. Pizza boxes still on the coffee table, movie still paused on the TV. No! He spun around. The door he'd just come through, the door that should lead back to the laundry room, opened into the kitchen, normal, like it always had. Behind him, those footsteps again, coming down the stairs. Lee ran for the front door, grabbed his keys, twisted the knob. Locked. But he hadn't locked it. He never locked it when he was home. "No, no, no, no!" He fumbled with the deadbolt, his hands shaking so badly he could barely grip it. The footsteps reached the bottom of the stairs. He got the door open, burst out onto the porch. His parents' car was in the driveway, the car that should have been 8 hours away. Lee pulled out his phone, hands shaking, called his mom. It rang, once, twice. "Hi, honey," her voice bright and normal, music in the background. "What's up? Is everything okay?" "Mom, where are you?" "At the reception, sweetie. Are you all right? You sound... Is Dad with you?" "He's right here, dancing with your Aunt Karen." "Lee, what's wrong?" Behind him,
the front door creaked open. "Sweetie?" That other voice, the one that sounded like his mom but wasn't. "Why did you run?" Lee looked back, saw a figure in the doorway, dark, indistinct, but wearing his mother's cardigan, the blue one with the buttons. "Lee?" His real mom's voice in his phone. "Talk to me, you're scaring me." The figure stepped onto the porch, into the light from the street lamp. It looked exactly like his mother, perfect, down to the mole on her left cheek, the silver streak in her hair, everything. Except the eyes. The eyes were completely black. "I'm calling 911, Lee said, backing toward the street. The thing that looked like his mom tilted its head, smiled, said nothing. His real mom was shouting through the phone now. "Lee, answer me, what's happening?" "There's someone in the house. It looks like you, but it's not you." A long silence from his mom. Then, "Lee, listen to me very carefully. Go to the Hendersons' house, right now. Don't go back inside." The fake mom's smile widened. It didn't speak, just watched. Then, it opened its mouth, and Lee's own voice came out. Perfect, exact. "Mom? Yeah, everything's fine. I was just watching a scary movie. Got a little freaked out." "That's not me," he shouted into the phone. "Mom, that's not—" But his mom was already laughing. "Oh, honey, I'm glad you're okay. Don't stay up too late. Love you." "Mom, wait!" She hung up. The thing closed its mouth, smiled wider.
"What are you?" Lee whispered. It didn't answer, just took a step closer. Lee backed toward the street, his mind racing. The guest bedroom door, the one that sticks. His mom had mentioned it once, said something about it. What was it? "Don't close that door all the way, Lee. Your grandfather got locked in there once when he was visiting. Took us hours to get it open." Hours. The thing took another step. It was studying him, learning him, the way he stood, the way he breathed, the slight hitch in his voice when he was scared. It was becoming him. "You can't," Lee started, then stopped, because he saw them. Standing in the yard across the street, Mr. Henderson, holding his trash bins, staring at Lee with those same black eyes. 3 houses down, the Wilson kid, maybe 8 years old, standing on his lawn in Superman pajamas, waving slowly, black eyes reflecting the streetlights. Next door, Mrs. Chen, getting groceries from her car, moving too smoothly, too perfectly. She dropped a bag, milk, bread, eggs spilling onto the driveway, and didn't react, just stood there, staring at Lee, all of them smiling. The Wilson kid kept waving, up, down, mechanical, his little hand moving with inhuman precision, his head tilted at an angle that wasn't quite right. Mrs. Chen bent down, picked up each item, placed them back in the bag, never taking her eyes off Lee, never blinking. Mr. Henderson took a step forward, then another, crossing his lawn, stepping onto the street, still holding the trash bins, still smiling. Lee's breath came in short gasps, his heart hammering. How long had they been there? Days? Weeks? How long before everyone he knew? The Wilson kid started walking toward him too, those little feet in bare pajamas slapping against the cold pavement, still waving, still smiling. Lee wanted to run, but his legs wouldn't move, because he understood now. There was nowhere to go, nowhere that was safe. Movement snapped him back, the thing that looked like his mom, right in front of him now. Lee stumbled backward, ran, not to the neighbors, not to the street, to the car in the driveway. His dad always kept a spare key in the wheel well. 3 seconds to find it, 5 seconds to get inside, lock the doors. The thing stood on the porch, watching, still smiling. The others stopped moving, just watched. Lee started the car. In the rearview mirror, he saw it, the thing that looked like his mom, standing on the porch, and next to it now, another Lee, standing there, wearing his clothes, his hoodie, his shoes. It waved at him, the exact way he waved, the little 2-finger salute he'd been doing since middle school. Lee threw the car in reverse, tires screaming. He didn't look back. Lee drove to Sherry's house, pounded on the door until her dad answered. Lee, what the hell? I need to use your phone. Please, something's in my house. Sherry's dad looked at him. Really looked. Then, come inside. Lee called his parents, told them everything. They left the wedding immediately, called the police to do a welfare check. The cops found nothing. Empty house, no forced entry, no one inside. But the guest bedroom door was closed, and when they tried to open it, it wouldn't budge. They brought tools, crowbars, a locksmith. It took them 40 minutes. When they finally got it open, the room was empty, except for one thing: Lee's phone, sitting on the bed, the one he'd had in his pocket when he ran. Dead battery, but there. Lee never went back into that house. His parents moved them out 2 weeks later, sold it at a loss, didn't care. But here's the thing that kept Lee up at night, the thing that still keeps him up. A week after they moved, he saw Scott at school, his best friend since 6th grade. They talked about the usual stuff: classes, girls, basketball. But something felt off. The inflection was right, the jokes landed, everything was perfect, almost too perfect. Scott mentioned a memory, 4th grade, the time they'd snuck into the old quarry, got chased by a security guard. Lee laughed, agreed, but that never happened. They'd talked about sneaking into the quarry, planned it a dozen times, but they'd never actually gone. Lee waited until Scott turned away, just for a second, and he saw it. The reflection in the classroom window. Scott's eyes, completely black. Lee never said anything. What could he say? He watches now, watches his friends, his teachers, random people at the store, testing them, little details, shared memories that never happened, jokes that aren't quite right. Most people pass. Most. But sometimes, not often, but sometimes, someone gets it wrong. Agrees to something that never was, laughs at a memory that doesn't exist. And Lee knows. He counts them now, the ones with black eyes, the ones who are perfect. Last month he counted 14 in his school alone. This morning at breakfast, his mom asked him about the homework he'd had on Friday. He didn't have homework on Friday. He'd lied about that, to get out of the wedding, to stay home alone. But he'd never told her it was a lie. So how did she know? Lee hasn't looked at his mother's reflection yet. He's not sure he wants to. Because that's the thing about being replaced. By the time you notice, you have to decide if you really want to know. Lee learned that night that there are worse things than being alone. Sometimes the real horror is realizing you never were. And sometimes it's realizing that the person sitting across from you at breakfast, the one who makes your eggs just right, who remembers your favorite mug, who says, "I love you" with perfect timing, isn't the person who raised you. But if they're better at being your mother than your mother was, does it even matter? Lee doesn't know. He's still deciding.